I single-handedly broke up my marriage. You're an awful person.
You're 24 years old. Why would I listen to you? Why would you be giving therapy and advice to people who clearly need it? It doesn't make any sense, Ari. This is a horrible idea.
You're listening to
Unlicensed Therapy with Ari Manis.
This is dope, man. Good.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed,
Thanks.
bro.
Yeah, I'm a big nerd.
No. And I hear so many good things about you, too.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Any bad things?
Never. You don't come up that much, Ari.
Yeah. I'm not.
But
no.
Craig loves you.
Yeah.
I will say that. I love
that's
you.
how I heard about you too.
Yeah.
From Craig. Well, no, I knew who you were already. Just from how long have you been doing stand up?
I'm going on 9 years now.
Okay, but I feel like was there a moment where you weren't doing it much in LA? Maybe because.
Well, what happened was I was on Chelsea.
Okay.
And every time I did Chelsea, after about 3 years on Chelsea, I would fly places because I worked for a bunch of entertainment outlets like ET or Entertainment Tonight or E News. And so when I fly places after 3 years on Chelsea, people would always say, "Where are you performing tonight?" Because I was the news guy on Chelsea because they had three comedians to dog celebrities, and I was there to defend them. That was my job, and that's why I was the punching bag on Chelsea. You're not funny, you're this, you're that, you're that. I was like her little stepbrother that she would beat up on because I would always, no matter who the celebrity, I had to defend them, right? So that was my job. And then after 3 years of flying around, I finally tweeted the night before I went on Chelsea, and I didn't even realize I did that, but I said, I'm going to try stand-up. I went on Chelsea, and she goes, "Oh, you think you can just try stand-up?" And at a table full of comedians, I go, "Well, it doesn't seem that hard. All you do is talk, right?" And then everybody got on
you meant it when you said it.
And I did mean it.
Because you just didn't know.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I think the first time, so that led to me going up. She said, "You got to go up."
So where'd you go up for the first time?
Miami Improv.
Okay.
And now I found out, after I did, I found out that was one of the roughest clubs in the country at that time.
Are they still open? They're not even open now.
No, they moved it now. They closed it for a couple of years and moved it over. That crowd is all Hispanic and black.
How much time did you do?
I did 15 minutes my first time.
That's a long time,
But
too.
I will tell you this, Art, I didn't know.
Right.
You're not supposed to. So I think the crazy thing is I didn't know I wasn't supposed to. So I think when you don't have limitations, nobody told me you got to start with 3, then move to 5, then 8.
So your first time up, you're doing Miami Improv.
Yeah.
15 minutes. Whose crowd was it? What show? Was it your show?
It was my crowd because I had
your fans. That's probably a good thing to do for your first time.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like doing a bringer show,
yes,
but in a good way because it's just supportive and you walk off going, "Okay, I could do this."
And I had a big radio show in Miami, so it sold out. My first
perfect.
time, so everybody wanted to and Chelsea was at its peak, so everybody wanted to see me bomb or everybody wanted to see me do well.
Yeah.
So we did 300 people my first time
and
up.
who else went up with you since you only did 15?
Orlando Leyba
Hilarious.
was there that
Yeah,
night,
he's
and
great.
he taped my first set, so he still has it.
That's cool.
And
He hasn't given it to you?
Oh no, he gave it to
Oh,
me, but
yeah.
I keep losing it.
Yeah.
Neri Signs, who's a big comedian in Miami, was there, but it was just 3 or 4 comedians. I can't remember the other people.
Yeah.
And it was an off night. It was on a Wednesday.
That's awesome.
And it was an amazing experience. I got off a stage. I called my mom right then. I go, "This is what I was born to do. I absolutely love it." And I came back to LA, and because I lived here. And then I said, "Oh, it's hard to get stage time here." So what I'm gonna do, since I was
No one was throwing you up much?
I mean, they were,
Yeah.
but I wasn't. My thing is, once I go into something, I want to go 100%, and I want to be good. I don't want to be just that dude that's on TV that gets put up and then I suck ass, because I saw so many people do that. So I go, okay, let me do the work. So I started Hot Mess Comedy. It was my own brand of comedy.
Oh, that was a show you produced?
It was a show produced. So I would bring at the time Brent Morin, Darnell Rollins came out before. So
Crushers.
I would take over a club because Chelsea was at its peak. Literally, you could be. She's the American Idol at that time of comedy. You could be on her show and sell out,
right?
No matter. And I was just doing one night.
Oh yeah, it was you. Who else was on it?
Joe Coy,
Josh Wolf.
Josh Wolf.
Yeah.
You had Heather McDonald. You had Sarah Colon. I mean, just
she created a lot of comedians, headliners. She made careers.
Literally, I would sell out everywhere I go at the peak of that show. Just one nighters, but still, it was amazing. So and I would do it on a Wednesday where they don't have comedy at that club. So they would give me a solid budget. So I would bring like 4 or 5 comedians, fly them all in.
Yeah, I've known that, or I've heard that about you, that even now when you go, you bring like a feature and a host.
Yeah.
Like most comedians don't do that.
Well, even if I lose money, I want to control the show because I've been to so many markets.
Oh, yeah, where the host just goes up there and bombs horrendously for 10 minutes.
Or it's just like my style of comedy. A lot of like families come to see me, and it's not family comedy, but I say this.
You don't want it to be.
I don't want
vulgar.
it to be. Like I did New York not too long ago, and the dude was so New York, like F this, or I don't curse that much.
Yeah.
And it was so off brand of my show where it took the next comedian, the feature who I bring all the time, like some time to get him back.
Yeah.
So now I bring Craig, even though he's totally opposite of me.
Yeah.
He works because he's so lovable.
Yeah, he's
You know what I
lovable.
mean?
Exactly. He's like the harmless.
Yeah, he's the harmless guy that works at trade or
the
used to work
harmless
at
stoner kid.
Yeah,
Former
so
stoner
and
kid.
and he's so opposite of me, but he still believes in family. And it's interesting. The first time, a couple times I brought him out, he didn't do so well.
Oh,
and
really?
To see,
He just wasn't used to.
He wasn't used to my crowds. He was used my crowds are different. Like you'll have a grandmother that brings her daughter, like 3 generations.
Yeah.
That come to my show. So it took him a while to adjust to that, but now he's crushing it. You just got to take out some of the words.
Sometimes that's fun to do an audience you're not used to and have to figure them out.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
This audience doesn't like that joke, but they like that style a lot,
Well, last night I did an all Asian show. I started one in Pasadena called Sticky Rice Comedy. So like Aquafina came out from Crazy Rich Asians, but a lot of like Asian.
Did Aquafina perform or
No,
just to watch?
She just came out to support. It was our first night, but it was like PK and these other like Sherry Cola, this girl named Jenny Yang, I believe her name. Man, these females crushed.
Oh, yeah, Sherry Cola's funny.
Sherry Cola, and I mean, everybody crushed that night, but it was different for me performing in front of all Asians because when I do my Asian accent in front of white people, black people, Latino people, it's on point. When I do it in front of Koreans, they're like, oh, that's not the...
Oh, that's interesting. So you felt more self-conscious about
100%.
it? I thought, if anything, I thought you'd feel like more comfortable.
No, because I don't do my mom's Asian accent perfect. Like I do a good Asian accent of my mom, but I don't do it perfect. So yeah, I feel totally self-conscious when because I did one joke and it didn't land like he always lands.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, that's because first of all, I'm making fun of my Asian side and it's pretty much all Asians in there. And second of all, they could probably say like, oh, well, his Asian accent, his Korean accent isn't right.
And they're noticing that too. They're more
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I've been asked to do a few Jewish shows, and I always have said no so far because I don't talk about being Jewish in my act at all.
But I don't think you have to.
Yeah, you don't have to, but I just feel like I would need. I don't know. I just feel weird about it.
So after I did that one Asian joke, I did 30 minutes without any Asian stuff, and it all crushed.
Yeah.
So I was like, now I know when I do all Asian shows, just don't do my Asian accent.
Yeah, just do whatever you want.
But if you say it, just say it in a normal voice, because it was interesting. We had 5 Asian comics, and none of them did an Asian voice except me, and I'm the least Asian out of those 5 comics. You know what I mean?
Would you when you say you're the least Asian, like
I'm
you're
half
the
black
most,
and Asian.
So literally you're the least Asian.
Yeah.
You're half Asian.
Yeah. The rest of them were straight up.
I thought
Asian.
maybe you meant like you grew up in America in a non.
Oh no! I mean, they were all Asian, and I was half Asian. So it was but that's what I love about comedy. You keep learning.
So being half Asian, half black, do you ever get people that make black jokes around you?
Of course.
But they didn't know you were half black.
And no. I get Asian jokes around me, but people know I'm mixed with something. But nobody's ever come up to me and go, "Hey, man, you're Asian."
But no one's ever said something extremely racist around you because they just didn't know.
Well, I mean, not the black side.
Yeah.
Well, my friends, for instance, I have friends in Houston, Texas. That's where I grew up, and they use the N-word. In front of me,
and they're not black.
They're white as hell.
Yeah.
Like I was with them at a bar, and they go, "Man, look at that nigga over there," and I was like, "Excuse me." I'm sitting right here. They go, what? And they point it. There's a white guy. They use it for white people. Like my white, and they go, and then they look at me like I'm the racist. They're like, why are you stereotyping black people as it? No. So and then they try to pull out the dictionary. And we're like, hey, you know that N-word means white trash. And that
I didn't
dude
know
over,
that.
well, that's what they said.
Yeah.
And they go, that white dude over there is white trash. You know, so you know, it's. I mean, they
I
don't
guess I've
use.
been using it wrong.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been using it just in the car with the windows rolled up, just listening to rap music.
Oh yeah, don't do that. You can't even say it then, man. Like
No?
I can say it anytime, but you cannot say it.
But when
ever.
I'm alone in the car,
well, you should feel bad about it. Like I don't know
yeah.
whether I should punch you right now just for admitting that. No, but I don't know, man. I just feel that with the N-word, I don't hear it as much, which is good.
yeah,
But
yeah, especially in LA.
yeah.
It's a very progressive city.
Yeah,
non-offensive.
But when you travel, you know, I'm sure it's used quite often especially in the South. You know, but at least people aren't saying it in front of you anymore.
Yeah, I think it's like I think about that. You hear about on the news all this racism that exists. I'm not. It obviously exists, but I must be blocked off from it because I don't.
You're white.
I don't.
You're
yeah,
white.
but even when I go other places, I'm like, I haven't met anyone where I'm like, oh, that's a racist guy.
Well, well, here's the thing. And I married a white lady, so it's a thing where I notice it's not racism. It's not educated on
It's
certain
ignorance.
things.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
ignorance because my thing is like about 5 days ago. I was pulling out from a restaurant. My wife was there, her mom, and my son. And I was at a stoplight, and they were across the street, so I was waving to them. And then when the light turned green, a cop behind me was a woo! I saw his lights, and he followed me for like a mile, right? So I get home and my wife goes, oh my God, I bet you thought the cop was going to pull you over, huh? He was waving to our son, so he flashed his lights for him and stuff like that. It was so funny, and her and her mom were laughing. I go, no, that's not funny, because in my mind, and this is the ignorance and the not educated, in my mind, I'm going, I may never see my family again. Do I have my insurance? I'm going through this check to keep my hands on the wheel.
Yeah.
Like I'm scared.
yeah,
You know,
it's
and-
kind of like when someone pretends like they have a gun to your back, and then they go, I'm just messing with you. You're like, that's not funny.
No, not today.
Yeah.
Not today. So they saw I was angry about it. I was like, no, it's not funny at all. But she is from Wyoming. She's never had, like, when a cop pulls them over, they just pull them over.
That's where you see that racism still exists. That when you see the difference between races, how they react to police officers.
Oh, 100%.
Like, I'll go up to a police officer and I'll say, how's your day? Can you give me directions to this place? A black guy would never do that. to a
Dude,
cop.
you know what blows me away is when you go to New York City, white people are posing with cops, asking cops for pictures with them. You never see black people do.
it
You would
doesn't
never
exist.
see a group of black dudes say, hey, man, let's take a picture with cops. No, that's crazy
Or,
to me.
hey, man, do you know how I get to this place? They would just never ask a cop a question.
No, and
There's a cop, get away from them.
And that's the thing is I told my wife, and we had a conversation after. I go, well, that's not funny to me, and I had to explain why. She goes, oh my God, I didn't realize it because it's not racism. She wasn't trying to be. She wasn't racist
she
at
just
all.
didn't know.
She just didn't know, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of now there are racist people, but I think a lot of racism comes from just being uneducated,
Uninformed. Not being able to relate to the situation.
Absolutely. And let's when you're in a situation and it doesn't affect you, then you don't really care about it.
you don't know.
Like we have soldiers today dying overseas still, but it's not in front of our face, so you kind of forget about it, which is terrible. But there's racism like that.
Yeah.
Like another example, it happens with my wife. We're driving to Vegas, a cop pulls us over. I'm speeding. I'm guilty.
Yeah.
But when you go to Vegas, there's a plane that actually radars the cars and call cops to pull you over. So they radar you from the air.
Wow.
A cop comes out of nowhere and pulls you over, and they don't even gun you. So I get the ticket. I'm like, yes, sir. No, sir. Thanks, Mr. Smith, or whatever the officer's name. My wife is in the back seat with our son, and my son is crying. She's mad. She rolls down the window after I already got the ticket. Cop walks by, and she goes, excuse me. How do you know it was us speeding? because you said a plane pulled us over, and she started giving attitude to the cop.
And you're just like, honey,
yeah,
not now.
I can't, and I'm like, shut the hell up. But I can't say that out loud. I can't do anything because I don't want it to seem like I'm trying to yell at a white woman in my car either to the cop. You know,
Right.
so it's this weird thing where like, we're good. And I'm like, sir, look, fine. And she go, no, it's not fine. If we go to court, are you going to show up? Like asking them things I would never ask a cop. But she just doesn't know because she's never been like
Yeah, she just hasn't gone through
profiled or anything like that. So
as a white woman, you're allowed to yell at cops because
100%.
if he hit a white woman
with blue eyes,
he would get in deep shit.
Yeah.
But if he hit a half black guy, people would be like, "Oh, what'd the black guy do?"
Yeah, 100%. It goes
Yeah.
like that. Literally, I see cases where, like, and I understand cop side too. I would never want to be in a job where it's like Russian roulette when you walk up to a car. You don't know what you're gonna
Right,
get.
yeah.
So you're stressed already.
Yeah, they're a little scared. They're on edge.
You have
Yeah.
to be scared.
Yeah.
If you're a cop, you have to be scared. You
Sure.
don't know what you're gonna get.
They're on guard.
But I've seen videos of people get shot. That's like, and there's video of it before, a couple minutes before and after, and then you hear like people that haven't been through something. Well, let's wait for all the facts. It's like the facts are they were in their car and a dude got shot in his car and didn't have a gun. Like what more facts?
Was reaching for his driver's license.
Yeah, what more
whatever it
facts
was.
do you need? You know, so it's a thing where it's a system wide. Like I really believe a lot of it is not being educated on it, but it's also you got to understand people's stories. You really have to listen. You know, so
Yeah, makes sense.
yeah.
So you've been doing stand-up comedy 9 years.
Yeah.
I've been doing 8 years.
Okay.
So around the same time. But what I have a clear recollection of, because I was performing at like the Ice House in the store a bit, but I was a few years in before I started seeing you like pop around everywhere, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what was that little gap? Was that just you?
That was me traveling to work up time
Got it. So
because
you,
I was going to city.
you
I
built
made
it up on the road.
I built it up on the road. I made
Got
my
it.
own tour because I was like, I never want to depend on other people to give me opportunity.
Okay. So
I want
then
to
you
create
just,
it for myself.
After that, you took a little break from the road and you came to town.
And I came to
Was that-
town, but I've lived here. So, you know, I did Ice House here and there. I did Comedy Juice. But then it was kind of like after I you know, there's a point in stand-up where you feel really good about your product and you're like confident.
Right.
And I was like, okay, now I can start doing LA.
Right.
You know,
I'm ready to be seen.
I'm ready to be seen.
Okay.
Because I
see
didn't
what
want to
you're
do
saying.
it too soon.
Right.
And not like I did Comedy Juice 3 months in, you know, and I did solid, you know, but
Right.
I wasn't.
But you don't know what industry is there, and you don't know who's
Absolutely.
watching,
I
other
wasn't
comedians,
educated.
and you're just like, I want to stay under the radar until I feel confident.
Well, I did that. I think I was 6 months in. I did a big show at the Improv, and I invited everybody from Chelsea out because I wanted to get honest feedback. And I think I grew so fast is because Joe Coy was my mentor. So he took me on
That's
the
a
road
good
too.
mentor to have,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. So he took me on the road.
Yeah.
And what's so interesting is when I was telling people he's my mentor and taking me on the road, so many comedians and clubs would dog him.
Really?
Like, oh, he sings at the end of his show. I've never seen a comedian. When you go to a Joe Coy show, it's an event. Like
Yeah.
it's not just a comedy show.
Doesn't he have like a DJ and
DJ, he puts
Yeah.
on a show.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you saw a show, not just a comedy show.
Yeah.
Like it's an extravaganza.
Yeah.
And at that time, he was singing at the end of his set, and he could get standing ovations without that bit at the end. But I'm like, why are so many people hating on Joe Coy?
I wonder. It seemed to have stopped from my end.
Oh, no, 100% it
Maybe he
stopped.
just once you sell enough tickets, people are like, okay, he's great.
Dude,
You can't he's undeniable.
And that's what's shitty about this industry. It's like now he's one of the biggest comics in the world, and people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, he's great." I was like, "No, I
He's
remember-
always been great. Yeah,
he's
yeah.
always literally,
That's why he's selling so many tickets. Yeah,
literally."
people love to talk shit,
They do, and that's what
especially in comedy.
and that's why I don't hang out in the clubs.
Yeah.
You know, that's a main reason. Like, I will probably never get passed by the Comedy Store because
It's
I won't.
gossipy.
I don't know if it's. I'm not there,
Right.
but I don't hang out at places. You know, I just want to. I want to be. Like I'm true to the art. Like I sit down and I talk comedy for hours. Like I take comedians I know that will talk about comedy. I take Leo Flowers, I take Nick Guerra, I take Orlando Leyba.
Yeah.
You know, I take comedians that I'll sit after a show. We'll sit 2-3 hours and just talk comedy. Like I'm a comedy nerd.
Yeah.
But I don't have I have a family, so I can't sit in a club till 2 or 3 o'clock
I mean,
in
it
the
also
morning.
gets to the point where you're kind of past that a little bit. Like
No, not past it.
No, but I think, like, not to sound like ego, but you have when you don't have a job and you're a new comic, you have time to sit and watch comedy at a comedy club for hours and just hang out. But you're headlining on the road. Like, why should you have to go to a club and just sit there and not perform and just hang out?
Yeah, I still go to comedy. I went there last week, and it's still great to see all these. I don't go every day, but I'll go like maybe once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, when you have a show there and you could perform and then you hang out a little
I'll
bit.
go on the off night
You will.
just to go see like Rogan and that crew, and then I got a bunch of friends.
Yeah.
And here's what's crazy is you need to be seen too. This is LA. Like I've gotten so many opportunities just from word of mouth or just being seen. Like it's so crazy. I haven't been to the Comedy Store in like 8 months. I go one night. I asked a friend. There was a lineup I wanted to see. I forgot who was there. But I know Rogan was there too, and it was like Rogan's crew, but then it had some other comedians. And I just called a friend, Leo Flowers. I was like, hey, man, let's go to Comedy Store tonight. He was like, cool. Literally, I'm in the hallway. I haven't seen Joe Rogan in probably 2 years. He looks at me and goes, hey, you got to do my podcast. I go, yeah.
Would love to.
3 weeks later, I'm on his podcast.
Yeah,
So
the
if I
biggest
would have
podcast
never
ever.
went, if I would have never went, I would have never got that opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's a thing where you have to be seen because it's just amazing. Like then I went on his show and then my special blew up. Like that dude to me right now he's the game changer in the industry.
Oh, yeah.
now.
He's like the Johnny Carson of our
He
era.
is, man. Without a doubt, man. You go
Yeah.
on his show. I got so much love. And it was crazy. We talked for 3 hours. I was so nervous about talking. Like, I was like, can I make an hour? What if I suck? Like, you really start questioning yourself before you go on.
Yeah, you just talk on that. Sometimes, I watch that show. I'm like, I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah.
And then if you do it, like some people get ripped apart in the comments. Some people don't. It's kind of intimidating.
And I got like literally Rogan hit me up. He's like, dude, my audience loves you. And I didn't think, because I'm not the dude that works out all the time that's in the UFC. I'm like the more of a metro dude where it's like,
But you say that, but I was Googling you before you came over today just to like know a little bit about you because I didn't know that much about you. And one of the searches on Google when you type in Michael Yo was Michael Yo body.
oh,
And then you
really?
click on that and it shows pictures of you shirtless on Google.
Shut up.
Yeah, that
no
comes
way.
up.
Were you impressed?
Oh yeah, you got a good body, dude.
I used to
You're
have a good
ripped.
body. No, I used to look like
Oh,
that.
yeah, what happened?
Life,
Like,
marriage,
kids, yeah.
But I mean, it takes me about like 3 months to get it back. I can always get it back.
That's good.
But it's a thing where to me, my body is a dad bod. Like,
too.
Yeah. Are you a father?
No.
No, you just have the
I
dad
just
bod.
have a dad bod. Yeah. And people would look at me without a shirt and they'd go, that guy loves beer. And I don't even drink beer.
Really?
Yeah.
No alcohol at all?
Barely ever. Like maybe I'll have a drink or
And you
two.
look like that?
Yeah.
So what are you doing with your life?
I eat Wendy's at 2 a.m.
Oh my God.
Sober.
I used to eat Whataburger like that.
Oh, I love Whataburger.
In Texas,
Yeah,
oh my God.
I was in Texas last week and I had Whataburger.
Dude, I was 260 pounds.
How much
at
are
one
you
time.
now?
I'm like 210.
Okay. So
But
yeah.
I was 260 pounds, and it was just like, bleh, and I ate Whataburger. I remember waking up eating the breakfast sandwich. Then, like, I think they called it, I forgot it was the double or burger, whatever it is. And then you would have, I mean, it was just like, I was disgusting. I was just filling my body up with crap.
What made you kick it into gear? I was like,
Well, I went to my friend. He's a doctor, and he goes, you're 260 right now. You're out of shape. If you don't change your life, your knees are going to give out. All this weight is terrible for you. And he's the one, I lived in Miami at the time. He's the one that created the South Beach diet. So it was like the rage and the fat at
what's
that time.
the South Beach diet?
I forgot, man. It was like
It
this.
sounds familiar, but
It was
I
this
don't know.
huge rage where I forgot even how, but I lost.
It was like keto, but it was called South Beach.
South Beach
It was
diet.
just another
Another
thing like
diet,
that? Yeah,
another
yeah.
diet, and I lost like 50 pounds on it. And they used me since I had a big radio show in Miami. I did commercials for them, so I lost the weight. I was eating super healthy, and I still try to be healthy. Like
Yeah.
I'm on that what do they call it, intermittent fasting. So I
really?
haven't eaten since like 8 o'clock yesterday, 7:30.
So what time are you allowed to eat again?
Well, I mean, it varies, but I at least go 12 hours before I eat.
Okay, so your rule is
At
just
least. But a lot of
one
times.
meal 12 hours, one meal 12 hours.
No. Like my last meal from the night before is at 7 or 8. And then I won't eat till like 8. If it's 8, I won't eat till 8. But
Okay.
like yesterday, I think my last meal was like at 7:30, and I still haven't eaten.
Got it.
You know, I'll have coffee, but I still have. So I'll eat. You know, the goal is to get around 14 hours, 14 to I think 15 hours. But normally I hit about 13.
And then in those 12 hours that you can eat, you could eat whatever you want.
8 hours.
In those,
I mean, once
8
if
hours.
you hit 16, it's 8.
and then you
But
could eat anything.
You can eat anything because it digests by then. And it's
Got it.
really kept me lean. But then when you start dieting on top of that, I mean, or start eating super healthy, oh, dude, you're a machine.
Game over.
It's like
Then you're
I can get
shredded.
that body. Oh, I can get that body back quick, man.
But now it's like you're married. Why even have a good body?
You know, I think, and my wife wants me. I believe all women when they get married, they want their dude out of shape. I
Just
say,
so
and
they don't worry about them as
it's
much.
not- I
They're
don't know what it
he's
is.
not chasing other girls. He has a. He
I
has
don't
a
know
dad
if it's
bod.
that. It's very weird. Like my wife is always constantly saying, "Oh, you want to eat this? You want to eat that? You want to?" Like, no. Even when I'm saying, "Hey, I'm cut down on carbs and stuff," orders pizza like purposely.
Just-
like
just
or
to
just
throw
has
it on.
candy around. Like when I'm not dieting or trying to lean up, oh,
That's when
nothing's
she
in that,
goes
but nothing's
crazy.
in the house then, you know. But as soon as I'm trying to lean up, it's like all this bad shit she throws.
What a
in.
bad influence.
I know my wife.
So you probably weren't told the premise of the show because I
No.
realized I needed to tell the booker to do that to the guests. But the premise to this show is called Unlicensed Therapy, and I'm an expert in everything.
Are you
I'm
really?
really wise? Yeah, I know
Oh.
a lot. I'm 29 years old, but I do know more than you about everything in
Oh,
life.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
could-
interesting.
And I could help you
Okay.
with your life. So if you have any issues or
Yes.
problems in your life, I could fix them for you. 'Cause
Okay.
That could be, everyone's got problems. That could be relationship. That
So you're
could
like a
be-
therapist?
Yeah, I'm a therapist.
Okay.
Family, you name it.
All right. All right.
Friendship.
How do I get my kid that's 2 years old to stop throwing things?
Stop throwing things.
He'll pick up everything and just start throwing it.
punishment.
Like what kind of punishment? Do you want me to beat my kid?
I don't want you to beat your kid. A tiny little slap might be okay.
Slap where?
A spank or maybe like just slap his wrist, something.
Oh, slap the wrist?
Yeah, it's just like that might be acceptable by today's societies by some people. Certain people would say don't do that at all.
Uh-huh.
I think it's okay.
It's okay.
Personally, that's like you may not. That's kind of a
But you're
the father. That's your choice to be able to as far as that. But you could punish them in other ways. I imagine. I don't know how you raise your kid. Is he spoiled? Does he get a lot of toys? What's
No,
something
that-
a 2-year-old really does? He have an iPad? Like what's something that your 2-year-old? What's his favorite thing?
Lion King.
Lion King. Okay, so when he throws things, no Lion King today.
But I don't think he's smart enough. Like he's 2. He doesn't.
He's not.
Yeah,
he
you
wouldn't
gotta
even
take
understand
something
that.
immediate from him. Like Lion King, you can't be like, hey, later on today, you're not, he'd be like, what? So you gotta take
what if
some-
you brought it up? What if as he's throwing things, you go, "You want to watch Lion King?" And you go, and then he says, "Yeah." Well, you stop throwing things, so you don't get
There
to
it
watch
is.
it. Yeah.
There it is. I like that. See?
Or you have a picture of like Simba printed, and you burn when he starts throwing things. You take fire and you burn Simba to death, like or Simba stuffed animals.
That's
And
not traumatic for a kid.
It,
to
pro-
watch.
it probably is, but I mean, how bad do you want him to stop throwing things?
You know, yeah, that's kind of mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
it.
you take like a fake string, like a noose, and you wrap it around a Simba stuffed animal. And every time he throws things, you hang
Simba?
just on something, just hanging there dead.
And just tell him it's the circle of life.
Circle
you,
life.
You just
Here's
created.
what happens when you throw things. Simba dies.
Simba dies.
Simba dies.
Wow, I've never. Yeah, I think slapping on the wrist is better than that. I think my kid's gonna have problems.
See,
if-
some people are saying violence isn't the answer. I just showed that it is.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. Okay, I will work on that today. I will put a noose around. No, I will slap the hand is acceptable.
It is to me. I think there's certain people that are like, it's never okay to touch your kid negatively.
Don't you think? Well, let me ask you this: do you think parents are too soft today? Because you don't look like a kid that got hit.
I think before I was 18, my dad might have pushed me once.
Yeah,
or
you look like
something.
that kid.
But yeah, he never like hit me with a belt or like sat me down and spanked me. Like that's never happened to me.
I could just
But
tell.
they were strict.
Like
Right.
strict out, like what they do.
I wasn't allowed to see PG-13 movies till I was 13. I wasn't allowed to see R movies till I was 17. I would get sent to timeout all the time for
Now-
doing things wrong. I had a curfew. I wasn't allowed to have girls over. I wasn't allowed to. They would, if I was going to a friend's house, they needed to talk to their parents first. Just like very over mothering, overbearing.
Okay, so I want to talk about timeout. My wife is into timeouts. I don't think they work.
They worked for me because you say, "Oh, who cares? He's getting sent to his room, which is an awesome room, right?" Maybe that's what you think. But for me, it's just like forced to be somewhere as a kid by yourself when you weren't planning on being there. You just feel, and knowing you're in trouble. I hated timeouts.
How old were you when you were getting timeouts?
I don't remember, but I never liked them.
Because my son is 2, and when he acts up, my wife will put him in the crib
Yeah.
and just close the door and let him cry for like 5 minutes. I don't think timeouts work. Like, my parents never put me in timeout. The only timeout.
That's why you don't think they work.
No, but the only timeout I had was between swings. Like,
Oh, so
literally.
your parents hit you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My dad would make me count.
See, that's really what it comes down to. Most people raise their kids how they were raised.
Yeah.
So you got hit, so you're like, I'll hit my kid, or
Well, my
hit
wife
him on
tells
the
me
wrist.
not to hit him.
Right.
So I've
And
never
she
hit my
got
kid.
timeout, so she does timeout. They're both. It's when you're a kid, a
can't
timeout
see-
is effective.
I can't see timeouts working. There's like, go to your room. Oh, okay. Like, if my mom told me, like, my dad would come home. I only got spanked 3 times. I do know that.
Okay, so no, it wasn't often.
So no, not all. It wasn't like an everyday occurrence. But he would take his belt off and it would make me.
belt spank.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
more intense.
It was
yeah.
brutal.
Yeah.
Like, it was a whooping.
Yeah.
The whooping. My dad would hit me 10 times and make me count every leg. Boom, 1. Boom, 2. And man.
Did he mix up how hard each one was, or were they consistently the same?
No, it was the
speed?
same. Like, as hard as he could hit. Like, it wasn't soft at all.
Damn, like you had whip marks.
Oh my
your
God.
butt.
Oh,
Yeah.
on my butt. Like,
Wow.
literally today he would be in jail. Like, my dad would be my dad would be in prison today.
Yeah, to me, I do think hitting the wrist is okay or whatever. Not beating your kid, but hey, this isn't okay. Same thing with like hitting a dog with a newspaper, kind of.
Okay. But some people would say that's bad.
But that's the thing. Some people in
you
today's
got to choose your
society
battles.
is just no physical contact at all. That's how some people think, and I think either it's whatever. But punishment is sometimes you just need to, or kids will grow up spoiled and they don't listen. You need to punish your kid, whether that's timeout, whether that's yelling, whether that's. Kids are ruthless.
They are.
They're little
and
demons.
And they know. They know. My wife is like, well, he doesn't know. No, he knows.
He knows.
He's manipulating my wife all the freaking time.
At the end of the day, they're animals. We're all animals, and we'll do what we can get away with.
100%.
Yeah.
And I
so-
try to tell that to my wife. How do I convince my wife he knows what he's doing? Because she's just like, no, he's only 2. He doesn't know anything.
And I'll tell you what, who are the kids that everyone hates the most? Spoiled kids. Spoiled
100%.
kids walking around where they just don't listen to anyone because they get away with anything. They're the worst kids. Those are the kids that other people see and go, oh, that kid kind of
Were you spoiled?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, good.
Man, my parents had money too, but they didn't spoil me.
Okay.
It was the opposite.
Yeah. Oh, mine didn't have money, but I mean, we were middle class. But my dad, man, being black and Asian, that's 2 ethnic cultures that make you work.
Yeah, neither of those cultures spoil.
Yeah, no, not at all. Are you okay? Are you dying over here?
I have a little cold that I'm getting over. But
Oh,
I'm
thank
good.
you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah,
on the
you're
day
into
you
my
have a
tight
cold.
garage.
Yeah,
it's
you're
good.
gonna
I'm
get me
building
sick.
up your immune system.
Yeah, thanks. I'm gonna get my kid sick now because
Perfect.
of you.
Good for his immune system.
And then
As a
I'll-
kid, that's when you want your kids to get sick the most. When a kid, no, seriously, I read that on the internet. When your kids, the more you get sick, the better your immune system is for when you're an adult.
You know what's funny? I was interviewing Kristen Bell, and we were
She's
talking.
cute.
Yeah, she's great. I was talking about.
I haven't seen her since her movies a while ago, but she was cute.
Oh
in her
yeah,
movies.
she's on a show on NBC all the time. But we were talking babies at the time. She goes, and I
Is she
found,
married with babies?
Yeah, with Dak Shepard.
Wow.
I think she has, or maybe she doesn't. I'm not really sure. But yeah, she does. She does because she gave me this advice. She goes, and it was weird advice. She goes, you should take your baby's hand and put it in your mouth, so they'll get your germs. Like, and I was
That
like,
might be a little extreme.
and I was like, that's very weird. But I'll go, she goes, no, because they get immune to it. Like you said, the more germs they get accustomed
sense,
to.
yeah.
And no, it totally makes sense. But I was like, wow, you're like on purpose. Like you're trying to get your kid.
It's kind of like chickenpox parties. You ever do that when you were a kid?
No, I just got it on my own.
You got it.
We didn't have a
But
party.
they had those.
Do they
where,
really?
Yeah, they would get, if a kid had chickenpox, they would put all his classmates in, they'd purposely make them hang out with each other. Because they'd want all the kids to
What
get
school
chickenpox
did you
same
go
time.
to, man?
Elementary
You're
school
talking
in
about
St. Anne.
abusing kids, man.
You never heard of that? That's a real thing.
I've never heard of that in my life.
Yeah, now they might even have like a chickenpox shot, right? Do kids even get chickenpox anymore?
I don't even know.
Have your kids? Well, he's only 2.
No, I think they
Yeah.
do. I think they do, but yeah, I've never heard of a
When I was a kid-
Maybe that's a white thing.
Maybe it's a white thing, but yeah, they would want to just get it out of the way, you know?
No, I get that. So how?
And it's apparently dangerous after a certain age if you haven't had
Yes.
chickenpox.
Uh-huh.
So they would, when one kid had chickenpox, they would purposely have them hang out with the other kids.
Did you
to
go
get
through
them.
that?
I think I got it on my own too.
Okay.
But I remember other kids having to go through that.
That is hilarious.
And they probably, and I bet you the parents didn't tell them either. They tricked them. They're like, oh yeah, you're going to John's party today.
it was just a
it's
bunch
just a
of
normal
kids
party.
catching chicken pox.
And they didn't even know. Yeah, it's pretty evil when you think about it.
It's
I'm going to put my kids
horrible.
in this room to get sick.
horrible.
But they're doing it out of love. They're doing
yeah,
it.
but
They're
I
doing-
mean, you know, chicken pox is deadly too.
I
Just saying.
was a kid who had no self-control. Still am a little bit. I don't have a lot of self-control, and I would scratch my chicken pox, and I have a scar in the middle of my forehead from scratching chicken
I
pox.
see that.
Yeah,
That was a big chicken pox, man.
yeah.
Wow. You have no self-control in what else?
Junk food, women.
Okay.
All those are my powerless things. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I used to be like that.
Yeah. What changed?
Well, I got married. That changed it.
Well, yeah.
But the reason why, not the reason why, but one of the reasons why, this is like 3 years before I met my wife, I woke up at my funeral. I was dreaming about my funeral.
Wow.
And it was just random chicks I hooked up with at my funeral. And I literally woke up like stressed out. And I go, I got to change my life, man. Because
A life-changing dream.
you know, I was like, if I were to die today, this would be my legacy.
Wow.
And then it hit me, those women wouldn't even show up. So like there would be nobody at my funeral besides my parents. And I was like, I started dating to marry instead of dating to date, which is something different. So
I'll say this. I'm looking for love.
are you?
Yeah, I'm looking for true
Okay.
love. But I'm single. And until I find that,
Do you meet a
Oh,
lot of your
there you
women
go.
at the comedy clubs and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Is that where, yeah, you're that dude.
no, but it's not like I'm not that dude. That's just where I hang out. That's where I go.
Uh-huh.
It's not that I'm there looking for women. It's that I don't have a job. I'm not in any classes. I'm not in really any other places in my life where I'm even meeting women. Those are just happen
Besides
to
the
be.
comedy
Yeah,
place.
they'll see me perform. They'll say, hey, whatever. We meet there.
Wow.
That's what happened. But it's not
what's
like
what's your luckiest club? Where do you get lucky the most in town?
in town, probably the Comedy Store.
Wow.
But it's not like, and listen, I'm making it seem like I get all these girls. I'm not like a ladies' man getting all the girls. I'm just saying that's one thing in my life that I'm kind of powerless over. I do
Okay.
like girls. If
Well,
a
I mean,
girl's-
who doesn't?
right. So, but I'm not like a player or a slut I'm a relationship guy.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm a monogamous guy.
You can't even say it. I
I've
love it.
I'm monogamous. I've had 5 girlfriends in my life.
Okay.
I'm 29. I've had 5 girlfriends. That's
How is it like being in this scene as a 29-year-old comic and you're in this pool of everybody trying to make, and I haven't made it yet either. I'm
Yes,
still,
you have.
No.
yes,
I'm
you
still,
100% have. You have
No.
a full blown career.
Yeah, but I'm trying
You
to.
probably own a house. Do you own a house?
Anyway, yes,
yeah.
I got
okay.
to
So nice being humble, but you've made it. Yeah.
Well, but the thing is,
You're not necessarily have met all your goals.
No,
you
I
still
haven't.
you still have things that you're working towards.
100%.
But you've made it.
no,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
Because I also
you probably
know-
make more money than the average lawyer.
I will say this, but it all can be gone like that. That's
True.
why I haven't made
But
it.
everyone feels that way though.
No.
Everyone
no.
always, every entertainer
No.
always feels that way. That's the thing. Like every actor, They finish a movie. They're a movie star, and they go, "Who knows if I'll get cast in another movie? It could all be over."
But it's different when you make your own destiny. Like that's why I love stand up. That's my career. Nobody can control that except me. Now, there's a lot of politics to get on certain stages. We all know that.
Right. But if you could sell tickets, you'll get booked.
You can get booked. Another thing is what I want to get into, which you know about, like podcasting. If you create your own monster, you control that.
Right.
Like I'm in the mindset of controlling everything I do. Right now, I only control a third of my career. Other people control the rest.
But
of
also, it seems like that's the way things are moving from my perspective too. Like it used to be, I need to get on TV. And then I'll have a career. Then I'll have an audience. Blah blah blah. And it still would be awesome to get on TV. Don't get me wrong. But now I know people who've starred in 3 seasons of a television show.
Nobody
knows.
And
I have more Instagram followers than they do.
Yeah.
Like I have more people who know my stand-up than they do.
See, and that's what I'm saying. It's that what's crazy is I have a special out. It's called Blasian. Stream it free on Amazon Prime. But I put up 2 clips, and this is like a week ago. One has 175,000 views, and the other one has like 130. Yeah. And my followers have shot up, and it was so just wow.
This is on YouTube or Instagram?
No. I just put it up on Instagram.
Instagram, yeah.
And I'm blown away with all the love I'm getting. So it's a thing where I think moving forward, and this is for everybody, and I tell everybody coming up, man, I love working for people like companies, and I love the opportunity.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'm trying to create my own destiny. Like
right.
When I did Rogan, it was a game changer for me.
Yeah.
Like literally, I walked into Rogan's complex, not a room, a complex.
Oh yeah, he has a full gym,
body sync takes,
podcast studio. It's
crazy. Amazing. And I go, this dude's controlling his life. Nobody can take this podcast away from him.
Nobody.
You know?
Even if he lost his UFC.
Even if he lost
really, that's the only thing he does where he has a job.
Yeah, he does it because
he loves it. But besides that, it's stand-up and podcasting. He doesn't do acting. He's like, that guy is living the dream.
And I feel that, I'm in a position where, like, I could create some movement in the podcast world just because of the contacts I have, and I just treat everybody well. And it's a thing where now I'm talking to other comedians about like I'm on this fence where I just want to have comedians on, and then they go, but people know you for pop culture.
You could do both.
Well, yeah,
it doesn't need to be just one. It doesn't need to like I have mostly comedians on because that's the only people I know.
Yeah,
and that's the only people I have ties to.
Yeah,
but I would love to have. An actor or a politician or just someone else who I kind of admire, skateboarders, whatever.
Absolutely, and that's what I love about Rogan's. He has 3 different. He has the fighters. They don't have these doctors and conspiracy theorists. I mean, he talks to everybody, and I want to do that, but I want to mix a lot of pop culture into it too, because that's what people know me from.
Right.
I want to talk about big stories of the day, but mix it with other stuff too, things I like.
And you've done radio so long, you're just podcasting it's so natural for you because it's essentially radio.
And you're gonna set it up for me.
And I'm gonna set
and
up
I'm gonna
all
pay
your
you money.
Equipment. And I'm gonna be rich.
And you're gonna be rich off my podcast.
Yeah, you're gonna give me $100,000.
$100 million to set up my podcast.
Okay, we're gonna take a couple calls here.
Okay.
This is people call the show and they just want advice.
Okay.
So this is from Danny. That's who's calling right now.
My name's Danny. The reason why I called is because I feel lonely. I feel lonely all the time. It's as if there's a hole in me which needs to be filled. And then I eat, and then I watch TV, and that's all I do. And when I'm not doing that, I'm sad. I'm just totally sad. I don't know what to do. I need help. I really need help.
Okay, this dude sounds like a killer, like literally a murderer. Like, what is Silence of the Lambs? That's that dude.
That's Danny.
Oh my, Danny, man.
What would you tell him?
I was like, man, you need to get outside, get some sun. Because you've been locked up too long in a house. You've been meet people. Stop. You sound creepy.
Yeah.
So don't ever call someone with that voice ever again.
I think that's good advice. Just get up, force yourself to do something.
Do something. Go outside
every day.
Get some D. Get some vitamin D. You need it in your life.
Go hiking. Go to coffee shops.
Danny, if I had to paint a picture, he'd probably like 300 pounds.
He
Pale.
also had some sort of accent. I wonder where he was from. Didn't sound American. I don't know. All right,
He sounded scary.
this is from Sebastian Cabanas. This also sounds kind of foreign.
Oh my God! Hi! Wow! I didn't think I'd get through. Okay, all right. All right. So I have a friend who keeps asking me for favors, and like, I don't know how to explain it. I have a hard time saying no to him because he's like such a close friend to me. But he's always asking me to do stuff like helping him move, and I'm constantly lending money, and just I found myself stuck between a rock and a hard place. I don't want to lose this relationship with my friend, but at the same time I don't think I can keep doing this free labor. It's just too much. So what do you think I should do?
Wait, what's his question? Is it about money or
couldn't
just helping him
understand
out?
either.
I have a hard time saying no to him because he's like such a close friend to me, but he's always asking me to do stuff like helping him move, and I'm constantly lending money, and just
Okay.
I found myself stuck between a rock and a hard place. I don't want to lose this relationship with my friend, but at the same time I don't think I can keep doing this free labor. It's just too much. So what do you think I should do?
Okay, so here's my advice on the money part. Never loan money to anyone. Give money to people. Like, because
that's
you got to
good advice.
so then if you don't get it back, if they pay you back, great. But there's not an expectation to pay it
Okay.
back. Like if I gave you $100, I would never loan you $100, Ari. I would give you $100, and if you ever pay me back, great, but I'm not expecting it, so it builds no
But
animosity.
what do you do? I don't loan money to friends, period,
Yeah.
for the most part. But if you do loan money to people, or if someone's a really close friend, you just feel too. What do you do if someone came up to you and was like, "Hey, dude, can I borrow $1,000?"
No.
You just no.
No.
Just no. Sorry.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
No. No.
There you go.
I mean, there's no reason for me to give you $1,000 now. I mean, loan you. Now, if I had enough money where I could give you $1,000, I would rather do that, because then it's on you to pay me back or not, and I'm not walking
right.
around
That's
all
on you
pissed
to
off.
feel good about yourself. Like,
Yeah.
and then
So-
you kind of learn about that person.
That person,
Yeah.
exactly. Like if I gave you $1,000 and you never pay me back, I'd be like, all right.
Now I know.
But now I know. But also, I'm not expecting you to pay me back.
Right. No.
you know. So
you're not setting yourself up for disappointment.
So I'm not bothering you, and you're not feeling weird around me, and you could always pull the card. Well, you gave it to me. You gave me $1,000.
Yeah.
You know, now as far as moving, I will never help somebody moving, or I will never pick them up from LAX. Those are two things I will never
Dude,
do.
with the invention of Uber, when someone asks me to take them to LAX, I think you're a bad friend for asking.
You're
me
a
that.
horrible
Yeah,
friend.
Yeah. You should not ask people to pick you up from the airport anymore.
Look, I'll get when people ask me.
Maybe if it's your wife or something.
No.
Even then.
No. No.
Take an Uber.
I tell my wife I do not pick up my wife.
Yeah.
From the airport. She came with my son. Didn't pick him up.
Uber.
No, I got a car for him. I tell him to Uber with a baby seat. My parents come to town.
Uber.
I'm not taking a 3-hour tour to pick you up from an
Right,
airport.
that's the thing with traffic from here to LAX can
ridiculous.
sometimes take an hour, then an hour back. It's cheaper to get an Uber. It's way more convenient
Faster.
for me.
Can I tell you, it's so selfish of them to ask us to pick them up from the
True.
airport. It's so selfish.
It
I'm
really
not
is.
responsible
Yeah.
for you.
You're right.
You know, like when people ask me, I just look at and then help you move. Like, why? What joy does that bring me?
It's like be an adult. Hire a mover.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like when people call me up and go, "Hey, man, you know," like I had this one friend. Oh, I don't want to say his name, but I had this one friend that we're grown men now. You know what I mean? My friends are my age. They're grown. And this dude was like, "Hey, man, you know," and he always used to give me shit about like, "Oh, you're not living life." Like he's this dude that would travel all across the world but stay in hostels and have no job.
Is he poor?
He doesn't have money.
Okay,
This is
so
at the
that
time.
plays
but
more
then,
into it,
but then would want to crash on my couch. I go, dude, we're grown people.
It's
You're
like-
dogging me about having a job. You're traveling the world on nothing, staying in
Yeah.
hostels, but you need a place to stay
Yeah,
when
maybe.
you're in LA.
Yeah, so maybe don't do one of your vacations across the world.
Thank you.
Save that money and get an apartment.
Man, yeah. So no, don't pick people. No. Just never let them borrow money.
Yeah, if you can't afford to move, then don't move. You know, if you're moving to a different apartment
Yeah.
down the road, but you can't afford to hire movies, then stay in your old apartment for another
100%.
month. Save up, get some movers. I can't lie though. I have one friend, my one friend who has a pickup truck, and I've called him to help me 2
Did
times.
he move?
Yeah,
Did he help you move?
Yeah, not move. Like one time was to move a couch specifically.
Oh, okay, just a couch.
And I was like, I could go rent a truck, or I could just see if I could.
Oh, no, see, that's it. I'll let somebody borrow my truck
Yeah.
if I had a truck.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna like help you move.
Right. Yeah. It's
I won't,
different, right?
Yeah,
I'm not-
moving and moving a couch, 2 different things.
True.
Like just like, hey, let's move this table. No problem. Put it in my truck.
So basically, what we're saying to the guy who just called, Sebastian, is say no.
Yeah.
Say no. Say, hey, if you don't want to be my friend because of this.
And also, let's talk about this. It seems like this friendship is one-sided. Does
Yeah.
it not?
True.
Does it not? Because we all have those friends that call you when they have problems, but never call you. I know a person that the only time they get phone calls is when their friends have problems, and they're the most positive person in the world. Only when people have problems they call. Not when things are going good.
Right.
You know?
When they're good, they're off to doing their own thing.
They just want to dump their crap on this person.
Yeah. People
Bad
are
friends.
just. Yeah. Some people are just selfish.
100%.
Just selfish people. Do you have any other issues you need help with besides your 2-year-old?
No, not with my 2-year-old. You've cured all my problems, sir.
That's good. I guess I'm a great therapist then.
You are.
Is there anything you want to plug?
Yes, my special on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. Blasian.
It's Blasian, stream it for free. Also, follow me on Instagram at Michael Yo. All the socials at Michael Yo, but Instagram is. I guess. Do you feel that's where it's at right now?
Instagram by far and away seems
But
where it's at.
But do you think? Because I'm in this debate where I still think Facebook moves
I like
tickets.
Facebook better.
Facebook moves tickets.
It does for you?
Yes.
Maybe you just have a big following on Facebook. Maybe that's why.
But I do feel that Instagram gets you more attention.
I think it also depends on the age, the ages.
Yeah.
Like my parents aren't on Instagram at all. They're
It's
on,
true.
but they have Facebook profiles.
And that's why I think, since it's like I don't say I do a family show, I do family comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that a lot of people from Facebook, I get tons of ticket sales from Facebook.
Yeah.
But I'm noticing this pop in Instagram, and now this heat is starting with Instagram, especially after Rogan. So things are rolling like that. So
Yeah.
follow me at Michael Yo.
And then what do you think Twitter's dying? What do you think about Twitter?
I think Twitter is only good for live events. Like if you're watching something live, that's the only time it's good.
Yeah, I noticed that some comedy fans are on Twitter, but I think it's just because they know their favorite comedians on Twitter. Like no one's, I don't know, Twitter seems to be.
Oh, okay. So
falling
they want to
away.
read what their favorite comedians say.
Yeah, they want to interact and read with their favorite comedians, but that's the only reason they're on it.
Can I tell you what surprises me about Instagram is like once you create, and I only have like 60,000 people, but once you create get into the 5, 6 millions, it's funny how you can put up anything and people like it.
Oh,
I see these people with they just posting a stupid picture that if they were on your account, I don't know how many you have, but like nobody would like it.
Yeah, 10K.
But just because it's on a person with 2-3 million people, boom,
they could
people
post
like
a picture of just
This
like
is
this
table.
black shitty table right here.
Yeah, it'd be like 1 million likes.
Yeah.
you're like, I want this,
And they'd sell it.
and then,
And they get paid. When you have enough Instagram followers, people come to you with money. Like, hey, will you put my bottle of water in the background of your picture and we'll give you $10,000?
Well, that's why I like comedians, because when they get sponsorships like that, at least they'll be funny with it. They'll do something funny. It's not just a girl showing her ass going, I drink this, know? And
I had to unfollow all those girls. I used
did
to
the
like
unfollow?
follow hot girls, whether I knew them in real life or I didn't.
So
But
you
then
unfollowed them?
I was like, one day I was like, this is unhealthy. I'm scrolling through my Instagram. It's just all these like beautiful women.
Well, Instagram-
posting skimpy pictures. I'm like, why am I looking at this?
Follow me at Michael Yo, but
Yeah.
let's be honest, social media is unhealthy because it's everybody living their best life.
But you know what? I think social media, what it was intended for and in small moderation is fun and cool. Like if you're just seeing what your friends are up to and you're staying in contact with people from college and people who aren't really in your day-to-day life anymore, I think it's great. But yeah, when I see like it's just comedians posting, look at the cool show I'm doing, or it's just girls posting their sweet, sweet asses, I'm like, this isn't what.
But why
I'm supposed to
would
do.
comedians doing cool shit make you upset?
when it's just a shitload of it, it can't help but make you feel like, man, why am I not doing all this stuff? It's
and
not
that
even
at
like
least-
it's not like a bitterness or fuck them for doing this. It's just like it makes
Why
me
am I
feel
not-
a little bit bad about myself,
Yeah.
like I'm not doing enough. So now I mute comedians for the most part, unless
Good
they're
deal.
a close friend of mine or I really like the content they put out. I mute them, and I don't follow hot girls anymore.
Good for you.
That I'm not close. That
Well,
aren't a
I
real
feel the same
close
thing.
person.
I used to read Deadline all the time. And then I used to see all my friends get these opportunities, the same thing.
Yeah, and I'm happy for them. I'm not
100%.
like, it's not coming from a place like why them and not me. It's just like
What am I doing wrong?
Right, it's just-
That's you question yourself. What am I doing wrong to not have that same opportunity? Do I have the right people around me? That's what you start saying here.
Yeah.
Do I need to make some changes? What am I doing wrong to not have that
right.
same
I
opportunity?
just noticed since I mute the comedians,
You feel better.
I just walk around a little bit happier.
Yeah,
So,
it's true. I agree with you 100%. And there's
Yeah.
studies that show, like when you look at people and you're saying that's what's so tough for women is women love to follow other women. And that creates sadness because you're watching somebody that's living their best life on yachts or wherever,
Yeah.
flying around the world, and you're stuck in Kentucky and you're beautiful, but you're going, why am I not that?
Yeah.
You're always trying
You're always
to live
comparing yourself.
and that's when you just go into a downward spiral. So I'm with you. I cut out a lot of people myself in a lot of things on social, but I still like watching comedians and knowing what they're doing.
Sure.
But for the industry side, because somebody performing at the Comedy Store doing different things doesn't affect me.
Right.
I don't care. People do your thing, be
Yeah.
huge. But when somebody gets an opportunity, and I'm happy for them,
Right.
that, oh man, or they think of something I didn't think about. Like, I'm like, oh, I should have thought about that, or I should have done
Right.
this. That's why I don't watch a lot of comedians on stage.
Same.
Because I don't want to ever pull from something that I feel that I use them to, even if
Right.
we have a totally different experience. Like, but there are some comedians I will watch. I watch Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr.
Sure.
Because I know I'm not that type of comedian. I remember I got one comment, just one comment since I've been on Instagram, and it happened after my special came out. And this clip I just released is called "Is My Mom Racist or Just Asian?" And somebody goes, "Oh my God, that joke sounds like Joe Coy's," and that kind of hit me where it's like I was gonna respond, and then it was so funny is they erased it themselves.
Oh, weird.
Like, because I guess they were so
Yeah.
because it's like
They
that-
realized why am I being negative?
why am I being negative? But also, he has an Asian mom. It's not, and it wasn't, they said, your mom sounds like Joe Coy's mom. Like, but they're both Asian.
Yeah, of course
You know
you're
what I
gonna
mean?
have similar topics to talk about.
His mom says rude things to him. My mom says, but they never say the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's a thing where that was the first time they came up. And
How do you deal with haters on the internet? Do you ignore them?
One thing that stands out to me about it is one thing I've learned, and I've only been in it 9 years. I'm not a pro or anything.
Yeah.
But the thing I've learned is you don't have to be funny to everyone. You just need to be funny to your people.
Right.
Because I was at the Comedy Store, and it was a killer lineup. Some people were on it, and then Steve-O was on it. And Steve-O has a different approach. You know, he tells real stories.
Yeah.
And one thing that stood out to me is everybody was crushing that night. But the 75 people in the Comedy Store that came to see Steve-O, he was the best thing in the world that night.
Yeah.
Even though you had killers
Yeah.
on stage. Like there was a bunch of pop-ins.
Right.
Like, I'm talking crushers.
Yeah, it was a dope
Just-
lineup. But Steve-O had the set of the night.
But Steve-O, to his people,
Yeah.
was the best. Like, if they left after like they were like, Steve-O was the best. So that hit me when I was watching, because I love to watch people react to comedy.
Yeah.
I go, that's when my attitude changed, and it went, you know what? It's not about being the funniest. It's about being the funniest to your people.
Yeah.
Just being fun. So stop trying to be funny to everybody. Find your audience and be funny to them. Because that's what I saw. No matter what, I don't care who was on stage. Nobody was funnier to those 75 people that came to see Steve-O than Steve-O.
I agree with that. But so do you respond to negativity? Do you delete it? What's
No,
your like?
no.
Just
I mean,
ignore it.
I do block people.
Yeah, if they're being too negative.
Yeah,
if they're
well,
being
even
hateful,
I'm in a mindset where even if something's questionable, I'll block people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people just do it. Like, I got in this trap. This is a long time ago, but somebody would say something negative. I would say something nice back. Hey, it's all good, whatever. And then I go, oh my God, I didn't even think you read this. Thank you so much. I really like you.
Yeah.
You know, so they're just doing it to get something out of you.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I ain't got time for that.
Right.
So eventually, once I reach a level I want to reach, I think I want to do what Taylor Swift does.
What's she
and
do?
just you can turn off the comments where all they can do is like
Is that what Taylor Swift does?
on Instagram. Yeah.
You can't leave comments on Taylor Swift's
Nope.
Instagram?
Nope.
Wow, that would be kind of cool to do.
Yeah, so all they can do is like it. But I'm in a position right now where I'm trying to build,
Right.
and the more people interact with
Right,
your
the better.
feed, the better you get
Right.
noticed. You know,
Yeah.
Taylor Swift has 119 million people
Yeah,
following.
she
She doesn't
doesn't
need
need it
any.
built, yeah.
You know, so once I reach that certain point, and Instagram follows are, you know, it's so interesting because I watched Joe after his after his first Netflix special, he went to the 300,000s. After his second one, now he's already in 700-800s. But that doesn't translate.
Joe Rogan?
No, Joe.
Oh, Joe
Coy.
Coy. Yeah.
But that doesn't always. I've seen a lot bigger comedians that have bigger followings that don't sell, like a Sebastian or Joe Coy.
Yeah.
You know, which is interesting how Instagram.
It's
think
not everything. People
not-
are like Instagram's everything. There's
No.
still plenty. Like you said, you're selling tickets on Facebook.
Yeah.
Some people are selling them on Twitter. Some people on YouTube by itself. So
Your vibe creates your tribe. That's what they say.
Wow, that's quite
Your
the quote.
vibe
I've never heard
creates your
that.
tribe. And that's what you want to do, man. Find your tribe and be funny to them. Like, that's why now when I go up, I don't even care. It sounds weird. I don't even care if the audience laughs anymore. As long as it's funny to me, because I'm working out stuff. And usually when you're very happy with your material you're putting out, the crowd loves it.
Right.
When you're putting out questionable stuff and you feel it, they can feel it too.
True.
And literally, if you
That's
say
a good point to get to, though. I'm definitely not at that point. Like
Oh,
when I
man.
bomb, it stinks. Well, it depends. If it's like a good show and I have a bad set, I'm like, shit. I re-question.
Well,
all
I
my
did
decisions.
the improv last night, and in my mind when I went up, I said there are 4 jokes I'm gonna try out in this 15 minutes, and I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna slow down to the point because one thing I noticed is, for me, I imagine a television anchor reading a teleprompter. If they make one mistake, they're so perfect. If they make one mistake, you can feel it. But when you just slow down and kind of just, I was saying all my jokes like. Usually they hit boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
I was like, tonight I'm gonna slow down so I can try out new. Slow
Yeah.
it down so much where it's almost like a conversation.
Yeah.
With you, instead of me performing for you.
Right.
That I could throw in anything, and it worked. You know, and I was so happy that I tried that. I got my 4 jokes out that I wanted to do. I surrounded it with good jokes.
Did it work to the point where you're like, I'm going to do that more often? Like that type of thing?
It's so slow, it's not me, but certain
Yeah.
clubs, like I feel a Comedy Store is that type of club. Because to me, the Comedy Store, when I perform there, when I go into the boom, 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 boom jokes, like where they laugh loud, it doesn't work as well there. But when I slow it down, it works better.
Interesting.
I don't know why.
Yeah, they just want more.
I don't know why. But when I tour, the boom, boom, boom works.
Yeah.
Or at the Ice House or at the Improv.
Right.
But last night, it was in smaller crowds. They feel overwhelmed when you're just
Right.
boom, 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 boom. So I just slowed down, and I like the tempo. I will tell you this. You can try out a lot of stuff, and the hour goes by a lot faster. I only did 15 minutes, but that 15 minutes went so fast where I felt like didn't even perform because I was kind of just like, you know, a lot of comedians are doing that now. You know, just like a Theo Von will just sit up there.
Just talking. Yeah.
Just talking, you know, and the long pauses. I went to the Comedy Store. I never noticed so many comics than right now that are doing that. And
yeah. A lot of comics are just trying really hard to just be themselves.
Yeah.
And just talk. And
it's just, yeah. You know, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like, well, I was thinking about this today. You know, like
Yeah.
that's the vibe instead of like, hey, I'm this, I'm doing boom, boom, boom. So I don't know if that's my style because to me, I like energy.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, I like the Joe Coy vibe where it's like, boom, like it's just
You like
laughter
a
after
show.
laughter. Yeah, I like a show.
Yeah.
I like when people are finished, they go, oh my God. You know, like when I watch a lot of comedians that have the slower pace, I was like, oh, they were funny. But I'm not like, whoa, that
Right.
was amazing. I was like, oh, they were great. You know, like, so I don't know. But he's my mentor, so I think
Sure.
I try to emulate him and walk in his foot. He's the guy that I want to eventually be.
I think you will.
You know what?
You're doing great.
Thank you. Is that
Once we get your podcast going,
Yeah.
Once we build your little studio, boom, dude. 60,000. Talk about 60
million.
You're gonna be the most fun. I wonder how much Kevin Hart has.
I don't know, but Rogan has like 6 or 7 million.
Okay.
Rogan's the biggest podcaster, right?
Yeah,
And
okay.
Adam Carolla, I would say.
So let's get you just to 1 million.
Yeah.
You don't want to get too big. Too big, it's like when you're too famous, it's overwhelming. You don't want to be that guy.
Can I tell you what's funny about Rogan? And I hate to talk about another podcaster on this show.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of comedians that listen to this. Is I'm around celebrities at the Comedy Store, like celebrities on TV. So nervous to walk up to Rogan.
Yeah, he's
Like,
intimidating. He's an alpha male.
It's so crazy.
He's like the coolest guy. He's into fighting, comedy, bow and arrow hunting. Like
I was with 2 celebrities at the Comedy Store this weekend. They were like, "Oh wow, look, that's Joe Rogan." I was like, "Yeah, go say hi. You want me to?" No. We're cool. We just want to see. I'm like, that's so weird for me, because
Yeah.
I've known him for 18 years,
Yeah.
and now he's this dude where, like, people are so scared to come up
yeah.
to him, and I'm like,
Comedians
he would
too.
know who you are, dude.
Yeah.
Like you're famous, like you're famous. He knows. He would love to meet you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I'll have celebrities because I do, I do radio shows. They go, "Oh my God, you were on Joe Rogan. Yeah, it's a dream of mine." I'm going, "What are you talking? You got 40 million followers. All you have to do is reach out." I'm sure, but I don't know. I don't know what he books.
He's
books,
picky. He doesn't reach
Yeah.
out just because you're famous.
No.
He has to like what you're into too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really does, man.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting how he's a star maker, man. He's
Yeah.
a freak. And like, I know what you say.
And that's what makes people nervous to meet him too. Like if comedians get nervous because they're like, man, that guy has the power to change my whole life.
Yeah.
And even if they're a cool guy, even if they're not like an ass kisser, that's just a weird thing to walk up to.
And I think it's a thing where I see him in the hallways at the Comedy Store, and I see wherever he's standing, a bubble where people walk
Yeah,
they
people-
don't even walk beside him to go past. It's like a bubble. It's so weird. They like bubble out and walk around
Yeah.
them. Like they don't even want to get. And that's how much power he has right
and
now.
he's really chill.
He's the nicest guy.
Yeah.
He's the nicest guy. Now, like,
Of course, if
you don't
he's
want to be
getting
aggressive.
overwhelmed and bothered,
Don't mess with him.
He'll walk away. But
Yeah.
but overall, he's a.
But man, I can't tell you, man, how proud I am of him, knowing him that long,
Yeah.
and to see, because I was on the first episode of Fear Factor, and
You were?
I was on the pilot of Fear Factor
as a
contestant,
and
that's how we met.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so I was on his
You're on
pilot,
episode 1.
episode 1. No, not episode. The pilot, like before.
Like, did it go on TV?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it did. But we were 8th one shown. But we were the first thing ever shot.
Wow.
When I went
What'd
into,
you do? What was the grossest thing you had to do?
we
on
had to
Fear
eat sheep
Factor?
eyeballs.
You ate a sheep eyeball?
3 of them.
You ate 3 sheep. Did you win?
No, I lost. Dude, the footage is so funny, man. I like.
Where were you at in your career at this time? Were you just
I was a
brand
radio
new?
DJ in Austin. I didn't
You were-
even live here.
Wow.
18 years. only moved here like 12 years ago. So this was 6 years before I even. 2001. we
That's
did
so
it.
cool.
Yeah.
So your
18
first Hollywood experience was going on Fear Factor and eating sheep eyeballs for Joe Rogan. Does he remember that?
Oh, 100%. That's why he booked me. He goes, "Man, out of all the people on Fear Factor, you're the guy that made it."
That's hilarious.
Like we did 12 seasons or whatever number of seasons, hundreds
Well,
of
most people on there were just normal people too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah.
was a normal person too. I was a
Well,
radio.
but you were pursuing entertainment, but
I never
but I
at
meant,
that
like-
time. I never thought I would live in LA.
yeah.
Like I never thought I would. I mean, like I never wanted to do. Like this sounds horrible,
Right.
but I would
Right,
love
you
stand
thought
up.
you were a radio DJ.
I was a radio DJ.
Yeah.
And then all this opportunity came, and once I moved to LA, like I got a job on TV, and I never did TV. Because I did a good radio show. The president of E was like, "Oh, if you can do that, you just do that on television.
Yeah.
We like the way you interview people." I was like, "Okay." And so I didn't realize it till about 6 months after moving here with the television job. Oh, it's hard to get on TV, you know. And then what's funny is all the opportunity I got moving here in the first couple of years. Now you need to sustain. So now it's a different battle because now I'm known on television in the entertainment world.
It's cool though that your story, it's like it happened so organically, kind of.
It
You
did,
know what I
and
mean?
stand-up
It
did
wasn't
too.
you pushing for it. It was like, I got this job. It fell into this job. It fell into that. It was
Well,
pretty cool.
the E job fell into the Kardashians, where I was on a couple seasons of the Kardashians. Courtney and Chloe Take Miami to Chelsea, And I treated all those people well. I was their first interviews on E. They used me as, because I did a radio show for E, they used me as kind of like, media training. So the Kardashians, and they said, hey, if we get on a TV show, we're going to put you on. And both of them did that, man.
Pretty cool.
Dude,
now it's going to happen on your podcast. Thanks for coming on mine.
Dude,
Thanks
thank you.
for doing it. I appreciate it.
You're listening to
Unlicensed Therapy with Ari Manis.
Unlicensed Therapy with Ari Manis.